Welcome to Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It, the podcast where we dive deep into the journey from vision to reality. I'm Kelly Jackson, your guide on this path of self-discovery, transformation, and intentional living. Here, we explore everything from mindset shifts and personal growth to spiritual alignment and entrepreneurship, sharing insights, stories, and actionable wisdom to help you live a life in harmony with your dreams. Every episode will dig into what it means to not only dream big, but to actually consciously create the life you envision. Let's turn your dreams into real life. Thank you for tuning in to Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It. I hope today's episode sparked something powerful within you. Remember, every step you take towards your vision counts, no matter how small. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please take a second to hit that subscribe button or leave a review. That would be amazing. Or share the podcast with someone who's ready to bring their dreams into reality too. And if you're looking to dive deeper, connect with me on social media at Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It, or at BE_what you want. Or visit dreameditthenreallifedit.us for more resources on aligning your life, business, and dreams. Until next time, keep dreaming and keep manifesting your dreams into real life. Love you, friends. There is something truly powerful about the concept of rising. About getting back up, about moving forward with newfound wisdom, about stepping into the next season of life stronger and more aligned than before. Life is full of ups and downs, highs and lows, moments of light and moments of challenge. But within every challenge lies an invitation to evolve, to expand, and to grow. And if you're feeling like life has thrown you a few curveballs, or maybe you're just feeling disconnected or overwhelmed, or maybe uncertain, then this episode is for you. And we're talking about rising strong and aligning with your highest self, which means embracing your challenges and learning the lessons that they offer and choosing to step forward with clarity and love. And the goal today is to help you see the beauty in the process of transformation and provide actionable ways to move forward with a sense of purpose and trust. So let's dive in and talk about what it truly means to rise and align, and how we can use this season of renewal to step into a new way of being. And I wanted to start with the art of rising. And to me, that's overcoming challenges and turning pain into purpose. Now, life has a way of testing us, and sometimes in ways that we never expected. And maybe you've gone through a rough patch, financial struggles, relationship challenges, career setbacks, or maybe even an internal battle with self-doubt or imposter syndrome. And when we face these difficult moments, it is really easy to fall into this mindset of, why is this happening to me? But today I want to shift that question into something that's more empowering, and that's, what is this teaching me? And rising strong isn't just about surviving. It's really about using challenges as a launching pad for transformation. And you can reframe your story, guys. It's one of the most powerful shifts that we can make, and that's seeing our struggles as lessons rather than losses. And every challenge that you have overcome, every single one, has made you stronger and wiser and more resilient. And instead of viewing difficult moments as setbacks, ask yourself, how has this shaped me? And what strengths have I gained from this experience? And this doesn't mean ignoring pain. It just means honoring it while also recognizing your ability to grow through it. Have you ever heard that saying, grow through what you're going through, or grow through what you go through? So there's a metaphor that comes to mind with this whole topic, and that's the phoenix rising. And I love the phoenix. And I love this imagery. And I want you to imagine yourself as a phoenix, and this bird that burns in the fire, only to rise from the ashes stronger and more powerful than before. And this ancient symbol represents transformation and renewal, something that we all go through at different stages of life. And when you feel like you're being broken down, it's often because something new is waiting to be built. Embrace the discomfort of change as the catalyst for your next level. Okay? And there's a role of perspective here, because two people can experience the same hardship, yet one will rise and the other will remain stuck. And what's the difference? Perspective. If you believe that life is happening for you rather than to you, you unlock an entirely new way of moving through challenges. When you begin to see roadblocks as redirections and failures as feedback and obstacles as opportunities to grow, you're living life a whole heck of a lot differently than someone who is stuck in the, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And that's the only question that they ask, and that's the only thing that they see. It's a matter of perspective. So where one person only sees this is happening to me, and the other person says, this is happening for me, they're gonna move through life differently. They're gonna move through challenges differently. And so my invitation here is for you, if you're not already the kind of person who really embodies this life is happening for me, this is your invitation for this to be the shift. And for you to begin to see roadblocks as redirections, and for you to begin to see failures as feedback, and failures as currency, and obstacles as opportunities to grow. So, resilience, which I love that word, and resilience is important. And it's not just about bouncing back, it's also about bouncing forward. Because, we think about being resilient. Oh, yeah, you bounced right back. But it's more than that. It's beyond that. It's about bouncing forward. The goal isn't just to return to who you were before your hardship. It's to become even better because of it. Right? So think of your struggles as strength training for the soul. Okay, I've been on my strength training kick lately. I mean, I always love a good strength training. It's important. And I've been intentional about getting it back into my routine lately. And I'm going to encourage you to do the same. I saw something the other day that said we don't quit lifting weights because we get old. We get old because we stop lifting weights. And that's talking about our body and, muscle mass and density and strength and mobility and just all of the things in your body. It's important to move your body and to still lift. So I used that little example there, strength training. But honestly, I want you to think of your struggles like the strength training for the soul. And each time you overcome something, you develop a new level of resilience that prepares you for an even greater success. Okay, guys? And there are some actionable tools that I want to mention for rising strong. And because you might be like, well, so how do we actually rise when life knocks us down? I get it. You're asking us to do it. We want to do it. But how do we do it? Well, you start by creating a grounding practice. Journaling to process your emotions, breath work to reset your nervous system, movement, walking, yoga, something to release stagnant energy, qigong. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and remind you of your strength. And then most importantly, practice self-compassion. Healing and growth take time, friends, and so honor your journey, okay? Now, rising, let me tell you what it's not. It's not pretending things are easy. What it is showing up for yourself even when things are hard. And there's a saying, one of my yoga teachers says that even when it's hard, be easy about it. He says, be easy about it. Even when it's hard, be easy about it. And I like that. So rising, again, it's not about pretending things are easy. It's about showing up for yourself even when things are hard. And it's about trusting that every experience has something valuable to teach you. And the stronger you rise, the more unstoppable you become. And you know what the best part is? You get to decide what comes next. Okay? So, awakening your higher self. Now, this is something, a journey back to love and alignment. I love to talk. I could talk higher self talk all day. Okay? So, once we've moved through this initial challenge of rising, so we got knocked down, we fell, whatever, okay, then there was the challenge of rising. Well, then the next step is to align with the highest version of ourselves. But what does that really mean? Well, your higher self is the part of you that is deeply connected to love and intuition and purpose and truth and the divine. And it's the version of you that already exists. You just need to clear the noise and realign. Okay? So let's talk about what it means to awaken to your higher self and how you can stay in that place of alignment. Because your higher self is already within you. And many people think they need to become something different to be aligned. But the truth is, you are already whole. You, right now, you in this moment, right now, in this moment, you pardon me, are already whole. Okay? And your higher self isn't something that is outside of you. It is the deepest, most authentic version of who you already are. And this work isn't about adding, it's about uncovering. It's about peeling away. It's about unbecoming everything that you're not. Okay? So, how we disconnect is that we lose alignment when we're stuck in fear and doubt and overwhelm. And sometimes it's the external noise, like social media, or societal expectations, or even old conditioning, okay? And other times it's internal, like the negative self-talk, the overthinking, the continuing to stay in situations that don't serve us. Maybe out of fear, maybe out of who knows, that's for another talk. But awareness is the first step to shifting, okay? And that was what I was just talking about, was just how do we even become disconnected from our higher self? And that's what I was talking about, is like, it's when we lose alignment. And we lose alignment when we're stuck in fear or doubt or overwhelm. And this is how we can become disconnected from our higher selves. And sometimes it's the external noise, and other times it's the inner talk, the narrative that we got going on in our own heads, okay? But awareness is the first step to shifting. So become aware of where you may be losing alignment. And then there is this power of presence, which your higher self is always accessible in the present moment, always. When you overanalyze the past, or when you worry about the future, you start to lose connection, okay? So mindfulness, meditation, simple breath work practices, these can help you anchor into the now, where clarity and intuition reside. This is how we connect and access our higher self. Mindfulness, meditation, breath work. It's a couple examples, okay? This is how, the analyzing, the overanalyzing, the worrying, this is how, again, we disconnect. So let's be present in the moment, not in the past, not in the future. And we want to shift our frequency, because the energy that you carry shapes your reality. And when you raise your vibration through gratitude and intentionality and self-love, you're naturally aligning with opportunities and relationships and experiences that match that energy. So high vibe practices like gratitude, journaling, gratitude list, visualizations, surrounding yourself with positivity, listening to high vibe music. Guys, this can shift everything, okay? There's also this element of integrity and authenticity. And living as your highest self means aligning your actions with your values. And, if something doesn't feel good, it's likely not in alignment. And so regular check-ins with yourself, like asking, does this feel true to me, will help you stay on course. Awakening your higher power is a practice, and it's not a destination, okay? So the more you clear what isn't serving you, clear it from your life, the more naturally you align with who you are meant to be. You got to give yourself grace and stay present and trust that you are always being guided toward what is meant for you, okay? Now, letting go to rise higher and releasing what no longer serves you. And I just thought of an example, a story I want to share. I'll think. I'm going to throw it in here, but I'll see where. Okay, To rise and align, we must first let go. Okay. And holding on to old beliefs and toxic relationships or outdated versions of ourselves only keeps us stuck. And you have to, well, not you have to, think of it like a hot air balloon. Okay. If you want to rise, you have to release the weights that are holding you down. Right? So let's explore the process of letting go with love and trust. And, you know, I'm going to throw my story in here. I used the hot air balloon example, but I'm going to give you an example. So there was this day I'd gone for a walk outside, and I was a good bit into my walk. I had been walking for a couple miles, and there was this tree with a branch that was like, a relatively lower hanging branch that was kind of coming over the walkway. And I saw it, and my inner child, I don't know, decided I wanted to jump up and, touch the branch. You know how you just jump up and touch something? And that's what I wanted to do. And so I was walking, I saw the branch. In my mind, I decided I wanted to jump up and touch it. And I jumped because, I knew I could touch it. I mean, based on where it was, you know about how high you can jump, right? And so I was like, I can touch that. And so when I went to jump, my hands came a couple inches short. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, wait, what's going on? I was really kind of surprised. And when I landed on the ground, I landed kind of bump, kind of heavily. And then I realized in that moment, I was like, oh, I got my ankle weights on. Now, I had put them on at the beginning of my walk, and they were 10-pound ankle weights, so 5 on each ankle. Now, I had been walking, like I said, a couple miles with them on, so I had really kind of forgotten that I had them on. And I guess this story is going to have a couple points to it. But I had forgotten I had them on. And so when I went to jump for it, and it was something I thought I could have reached, I knew I could reach it. And I went to jump for it, and I didn't make it. And like I said, when I landed and I realized, oh my gosh, I've been carrying this extra weight for so long, I didn't even realize it was weighing me down. And so it's like I let go of the extra weight, took the ankle weights off, jumped again. Oh, easily hit my goal and surpassed it. My hand went beyond the branch. And so you got to let go to rise higher. You got to let go of what's no longer serving you, let go of what's weighing you down. And again, it could be old beliefs, toxic relationships, outdated patterns or versions of ourselves. And the other thing, which I kind of always like to remind you to do these regular check-ins, because just like this, sometimes we aren't even aware. We've been just having something for so long that it becomes like we're not even conscious of it anymore, like my ankle weights. And carrying around this extra weight and we're not even conscious of it. What in your life I'm sure we've all done this. How's those cell phone app subscriptions looking? Or even not even just cell phone apps. I guarantee you we've all subscribed to something before and kind of forgotten about it. And we've all at least gone a little bit where we've been paying for something that we're not even using, right? Maybe at one time we did want it, we were using it, and we just kind of forgot about it. And so that's why they got those apps now where you can go in and, get an app that checks all your subscriptions to make sure you're not paying for stuff you're not using. And sometimes we need to do that. We need to go in every couple months and just look, hey, am I using everything I'm paying for, right? Is any of this no longer serving me? Do I need to get rid of it? Same thing, guys. So identify what's holding you back. And what are the weights, quote unquote, what are the weights in your life? This could be limiting beliefs. It could be clutter. Whole last episode was all about spring cleaning and clutter. Check that one out. And it could be physical clutter, mental clutter. It could be emotional baggage. Guys, there's no right or wrong answer. Just awareness is key here. Okay? And this fear of letting go, because there is a fear of letting go there, often we'll hold on to things out of fear, the fear of change, the fear of the unknown, or even the fear of our own potential. But letting go creates space for what is meant for you. So I really want to encourage you to overcome that fear of letting go. And one thing that's helpful with this and change fear is, they say rather than focus on what you're losing or what you're letting go of or whatnot, focus on what you're building. Focus on the new. Just shift the focus there. There's also an art of releasing with love. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing to move forward without attachment. And whether that's a relationship or a habit or self-doubt or anything in between, guys, release it with gratitude for the lesson that it taught you. And I talked about this again in the last episode with when I mentioned Marie Kondo and just the life-changing magic of tidying. And when you're letting go of things, that was something I mentioned that was hard for me because I was emotionally attached to, sentimental items. And you can overcome that. You can work through that. Just because you were that way at one time or you may be that way now does not mean that that's the way that you're going to be forever. We're humans. We have plastic brains, neuroplasticity. That means we can change. We can change. And so, and our brains are plastic beyond just our formative years, guys. They continue to be that way. We can continue to learn new things and to become new people with new habits and everything like that. So there are some actionable steps to release that you can take, like journaling and forgiveness work. Forgive others, forgive yourself. Decluttering your space. Again, check out last week's episode. Setting energetic boundaries. This one's a big one. And then create some new affirmations to replace your limiting beliefs. Guys, one of the big things that we do with my coaching clients is work on limiting beliefs. I don't know if any of you, where you are on your journey and if you're ready and interested in working with a coach, but I'm going to tell you, you can reach out to me. There's an application you can fill out, a form if you want some more information or to see if I'm accepting new clients at the time. If you're interested, we go deep. We go deep. This is one of the things I love to do with limiting beliefs and reprogramming the subconscious mind and helping you to identify these areas where you're stuck, where you may be not tapping into your full potential and all of that kind of stuff. So if you are ready to invest in yourself in that way and for the guidance and support of a coach, and look, I'm going to if you think about coaching, this is a little, we're going to talk about it now because this is important. If you think about an athlete, a professional athlete even, professional athletes have coaches. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with them or they're bad or they're broken. No, they're the best of the best. And they have a coach because they want to continue to get better. And they're out there, they want to be them at their full potential. And they know that a coach will push them and keep them on track and ask of them to continue to show up consistently, giving their best and being them at their full potential. And they're going to point out the places, shine the light of your consciousness on the places where you need to focus some more energy and attention. And they're going to lift you up, but also at the same time, continue to encourage you and motivate you to dig deeper and really tap in to your full potential. That is the same thing with this coaching space. Yes, you can come when you're in a place and you're feeling down and you're struggling and you're stuck and you need help. Yes, 100%. That's a great time to reach out to a coach. And another great time to reach out to a coach is when life is going really good and you're ready to take it to the next level. I think this is important to say because there is anyone who is interested in being the best version of themselves and living their best life. There is space in your life for a coach, period. That's all I have to say. So, and not everybody's ready for that or wants that, but for the people who are, what is that? Well, I can't think of the letters that fast, but if you know, you know. IYKYK or something like that. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Now, letting go is an act of self-trust. The more you release, the higher you rise, guys. So what is one thing that you are ready to let go of today? I'm asking you, what's one thing? Think of it right now. What's one thing? What's the first thing that came to your mind? Don't even overthink it. What is one thing you are ready to let go of today? Okay, well, that's something. Whatever you just came up with, that's something. Now, meaning it came to you for a reason. What does it mean? That's for you to decide. Now, embodying the energy of renewal and living in alignment with your growth. I like this because stepping into alignment is not a one-time event, guys. It's a lifelong practice of renewal and realignment and recommitment to the best version of yourself. And every day you have the opportunity to embody the energy of growth and to shift into a mindset that serves you and to make choices that reflect your highest good. And just like nature moves through seasons, so do we. We are meant to evolve. We are meant to shed old layers and to bloom in new ways. So, how can we integrate this energy of renewal into our daily lives? I want to explore the mindset shifts and the habits that are going to help you stay in alignment no matter what season of life you're in, okay? So again, alignment is a daily choice. We sometimes think that we're just going to magically arrive at a place of alignment and then stay there. And the truth is, it's something that we choose again and again. Every morning, ask yourself, how do I want to show up today? What energy do I want to embody? And this simple act of setting an intention every day can shift everything. The power of rituals and rhythms. And so we did just have an episode on this. The Q1 to Q3, Q1 to Q2 rhythms and flow. Just like the sun rises and sets each day, having consistent practices that ground you in your highest self is key. Whether it's morning journaling, an evening gratitude practice, weekly reset ritual, whatever. These moments of reflection keep you centered and aware of when you are in or out of alignment. So come up with something. If you don't already have something, this is important. Have a consistent practice that grounds you in your highest self, okay? Now, your environment reflects your mindset. So if your space feels cluttered or chaotic or even stagnant, it's often a reflection of your internal energy. Again, last week's episode, it was all about this. A powerful way to realign is to refresh your physical space. Open the windows. Clear out the items that no longer serve you. Make your surroundings feel like a reflection of the energy you want to embody. Okay? And then surround yourself with expansive energy. The people, the conversations, the content that you engage with daily shapes your mindset. So ask yourself, are the people around me supporting my growth? And are my daily habits expanding or limiting me? And make intentional choices to be around those who lift you higher. I know that might sound simple, but sometimes we don't do it. So make the intentional choice to be around the people who lift you higher. Even if that means that we might have to let go of, remember we talked about this earlier, let go of maybe some relationships that are no longer aligned with who we're becoming. That doesn't mean there has to be hard feelings. It can be, I'm letting go with gratitude, but I just recognize that this relationship is not contributing to my growth and expansion. It's kind of like stuck in some old patterns, some old ways of being. There's some old stagnant energy there. It's like, it's not really moving me forward. And so I'm going to let it go with gratitude. You got to be brave to do that. And I'm encouraging you to do that. And you are going to be glad that you did. Okay? Now, living in alignment, again, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect. No one's perfect. But it means being present with yourself and listening to what you need and making small, intentional choices each day that reflect your growth. And when you honor the process of renewal, life starts to feel or starts to flow with more ease. And so take a deep breath. Tune in and ask yourself, what small shift can I make today to feel more aligned? And then repeat. Do that every day. Okay? Now, there is a gift of reinvention here. I want you to give yourself permission to evolve. Because one of the most liberating things that we can do is give ourselves permission to change and to grow and to evolve without guilt, without explanation, without fear of what other people might think. You know, too often we hold ourselves back because we feel tied to old identities or outdated beliefs or past versions of ourselves. But here's the truth, guys. You are allowed to reinvent yourself. You're allowed to shift, to step into new energy, to rewrite your story. You are not obligated to be the same person you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, 5 days ago, or even 5 minutes ago. Okay? Let's talk about how to embrace the gift of reinvention and fully embody the next level of who you are becoming. First things first, you are not your past. One of the biggest blocks to reinvention is the fear of being judged for changing. Because maybe you've been a certain way for years, and now you feel the urge to shift. But you worry, well, what will people think? The truth is, you are not required to stay the same to make other people comfortable. Growth is your birthright. Growth is your birthright. And you got to break free from the labels. Like if you've ever found yourself saying, I'm just not the kind of person who ... works out, meditates, runs a business, etc. These are self-imposed labels, and they're limiting. And so instead of defining yourself by who you have been, I'm not the kind of person who works out. I'm not the kind of person who cooks. I'm not the kind of person who goes to the movie by themselves, right? Whatever you say. So instead of defining yourself by who you've been, start asking, well, who do I want to become? And let that guide your choices. Well, I want to meditate. So instead of saying, I'm just not the kind of person who meditates, I'm going to change that to be like, who do I want to become? I'm the kind of person who meditates. Maybe if you looked at my track record, you might say, well, no, you're not. You have meditated 3 times in the last year. But that's who I'm becoming, and that's what I'm going to start affirming. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's something, I wrote this in a blog post once. I think it was the last line. But I love it, and I'm going to share it here. Do you want to know what the first, or I don't even know how it came up, but if you are not a hat person, do you want to know what the first step is in becoming a hat person? You go buy a hat. Do you understand what I'm saying? You do it. You change. It's okay. Growth is your birthright. You can change. Break free from the labels. I'm not the kind of person who wears hats. Go to the store, buy a hat, put it on your head. Now, I'm the kind of person who wears hats. Do you see where I'm going with that? Okay. Now, who do I want to become? That's the question you ask, and that guides your choices from now on. Now, there is power in small identity shifts. So I want you to know that reinvention doesn't have to be some big, dramatic, overnight transformation. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes the most powerful shifts come from these small, consistent actions, okay? If you want to embody confidence, start by practicing small acts of courage every day. And if you want to be more present, start with 5 mindful minutes each morning. These tiny shifts compound into massive transformation. Got to do them consistently, okay? You also are going to have to let go of the need for permission. Nobody else can decide who you get to be. You do not need approval from anyone to step into your next chapter. The more that you trust yourself and make choices that feel aligned, the more natural your evolution will feel. So you're going to have to let go of the need for permission. You're not waiting on someone else to give you permission to change and to step into your power in this next chapter of your life. You're not waiting on anybody. You're not waiting on anybody to give you permission. Permission granted. Okay? You gave it to yourself. Now, trust yourself. Make choices that feel aligned. Your evolution is going to feel natural. Another thing that you can do is to create a reinvention ritual, like give yourself a symbolic way to mark a new beginning. This could be something like writing a letter to your past self, creating a new vision board. Y'all know I'm a vision board girly. Changing something about your daily routine. Like I said earlier, maybe you haven't been meditating, but now you're going to start meditating. So that is something new in your daily routine. You're going to start adding a 5-minute morning meditation. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Or even it could be physically shifting something in your environment to reflect your new energy. And like we talked about last week, decluttering or spring cleaning. These small acts can help solidify your commitment to change. Reinvention, again, it's not about rejecting who you were. It's about honoring who you are becoming. So give yourself permission to evolve without guilt. Every version of you has led to this moment. And you don't want to erase any version of you, because if you were to erase any version of you that existed in the past, you would erase yourself, okay? So every version of you has led to this moment, and you are stepping into something even greater. And the only question is, who do you want to become next? So I want to close with this. We're going to talk about walking forward with clarity and confidence. You know, we talked about rising through challenges and aligning with your higher self. And your higher self, by the way, I didn't mention this earlier, but let's just throw it in there. Your higher self is like the opposite of ego self, basically. You know, your higher self is connected to the divine. It's intuitive. It's everything. Ego self is the one that's going to get you in your head. Ego self is trying to protect you. It is basing things off past experiences and narratives and filling in the blanks in your mind and using logic and reason and all of these sorts of different things and wanting to protect you and keep you safe and worried about the way that other people perceive you and everything. And higher self is not any of that. So that's why we want to align with our higher self and embrace renewal and allowing yourself to evolve. And the truth is this, that growth is an ongoing journey, and it's not about arriving somewhere, but about continuously choosing alignment and expansion and self-trust. And as you step forward into this new season, remember that every small choice you make contributes to the person that you are becoming. And I want you to take a deep breath and remind yourself, deep breath here, I am capable of rising, and I am worthy of alignment, and I am allowed to change and grow. If this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. Share your biggest takeaway, send it to a friend who might need to hear it, or leave a review to help others find this message. And most importantly, guys, give yourself grace and trust your journey. Your evolution is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. And until next time, keep rising and keep aligning and keep stepping into your highest self. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It. I hope today's episode sparked something powerful within you. Remember, every step you take towards your vision counts, no matter how small. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please take a second to hit that subscribe button or leave a review. That would be amazing. Or share the podcast with someone who's ready to bring their dreams into reality too. And if you're looking to dive deeper, connect with me on social media at Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It, or at BE_what you want. Or visit dreameditthenreallifedit.us for more resources on aligning your life, business, and dreams. Until next time, keep dreaming and keep manifesting your dreams into real life. Love you, friends.